Welcome, everyone. Welcome to Purple Lunar Rose Love and Astrology Night. So, tonight I'm going to be going over the cosmic influences for the week of February 22nd through the 28th. This is the last week of February. I am going to start out with this very perfect alignment at 0 degrees of Aries with the two heavyweight planets of Saturn and Neptune. So, guys, get your birth charts out because I will be breaking these energies down into all the rising signs. Next, I'm going to be talking about the first Mercury retrograde of 2026, and it's actually happening in the sign of Pisces. Get ready for some spiritual trippy stuff with that energy. I will break down each rising sign for Mercury retrograde as well. And I'm also going to talk to you a little bit more about what the fire horse or the year of the fire horse means for all of us. And I will, of course, read for the collective and offer some mini readings at the end. So, guys, get comfortable. If you're catching me live, welcome, welcome. If you're watching the replay, thank you so much for watching my video. Make sure to hit that subscribe button, guys, so that you can catch me when I go live. And of course, please remember multi-streaming Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch tonight. All right. Let me pull up my notes. I see everyone coming in. Vanessa joining us on Facebook. I totally messed up sharing on Facebook tonight. So if you get lonely over there, Vanessa, just come join us over on YouTube. My bad. I don't know what happened, and I don't know how to fix it, but it seems like sometimes when I go to add Facebook to our multi-stream, it'll add like 3 or 4 over there for whatever reason. So people don't know which one to come into, right? So if you get lonely, join us over on YouTube. Sherry, welcome, joining us tonight. Perfect night, Sherry. You're catching us on the perfect night. All right, let me get notes. And let me grab a drink of water. All right. Uh-oh. I do that every single live. All right. All right, guys. So I'm going to start with Saturn and Neptune. And remember, we're looking at the last week. But these are all transits that are very powerful, are going to be occurring over several weeks, Saturn and Neptune, several years. So this energy is very powerful this week. Last week, we took the time to talk about the solar eclipse. So this week, I want to focus on Saturn and Neptune. I'm sure you've already heard other astrologers talking about this very, like I said, perfect alignment at 0 degrees. These two very big planets, very close together. It is a rare event. It happens about every 36 years. And a lot of people right now are calling this the Great Reset. They're calling Saturn and Neptune and Aries the Genesis moment. And it is because it's occurring at the very first degree, which is 0 degrees of Aries. And that is very much a true starting point. So let's break down what this means. There's two big planets, they're in Aries. What does this mean for me, right? So this is your dreams meeting your reality. And this conjunction is going to bring together these two powerful but opposite forces of Saturn, which is structure and discipline, and of course, limits, and Neptune, which is dreams and spirituality and imagination. We're going to see things like energy that focuses on structured dreams because it's going to be a powerful time to build the dream, to take your big ideas and turn them into something that's real and practical. We're going to see old structures fall away. And this is because Neptune is gentle but a very persistent energy, and it can wear down outdated systems. So it's going to create shifts in things like politics, religion, and social institutions. Vanessa says my natal Saturn is at 0 degrees. I love that. All right, guys, get those charts out. Let me keep going so I can hurry and finish. There's a lot of information. We're going to deal with some clarity versus confusion with Saturn and Neptune. I mean, that's pretty easy to see. This can feel like a spiritual wake-up call for many, but at first, the mix of Neptune's fog and Saturn's demand for truth might make us feel a little unclear and sometimes could feel very frustrating. Right, so here's the global and historical significance of these two planets coming together. So we have the Aries point, a conjunction at 0 degrees Aries, again, extremely rare. And some say it hasn't happened in this exact spot for over 2,000 years. 2,000 years. It's also the past Saturn Neptune alignments and other signs have lined up with major world events. So a lot of us are going to experience some looking back energy. And for example, the 1989 conjunction happened during the fall of the Berlin Wall and the birth of like the World Wide Web, right? So that's very powerful energy. Aries energy itself very powerful, and because this is happening in the sign of Aries, the themes like leadership, independence, and bold new starts will take center stage with Saturn and Neptune in the sign of Aries. It's also going to warn us about acting too quickly or following reactive leaders. Right. So here's some practical steps for this week. You want to really ground your visions. Don't just dream it, but map it. Write down a simple, practical plan for your biggest goals. You want to set healthy boundaries. Take a close look at where you need better limits. Watch out for going it alone too much or wanting to escape. A lot of us are dealing with escapism at this time. Stay grounded, not rash. Aries energy can make us very impulsive. I know I have so much of this Aries energy in my chart. And before making any big moves, you really want to pause and breathe. Don't let that gut reaction call all the shots. Okay. All right, here's the rising signs. So again, I'm breaking down how these two big heavyweight planets coming into 0 degrees Aries is going to impact you personally. So look at your charts and tell me in the chat, what is your rising sign? I'm a Cancer rising. All right, so I'm going to start with Aries rising. This is going to be a moment to step into a new kind of leadership. You don't have to wait for permission anymore. You want to trust your vision and let it guide you forward with confidence. Taurus rising. This is an invitation to heal from within. Gently explore the hidden parts of your mind and heart. Releasing old patterns now will make you feel free to live more authentically. Gemini rising. Your community needs your voice. So you're the bridge between ideas and action. Bring people together and help turn shared dreams into reality. If you're Cancer rising like me, Saturn and Neptune at 0 degrees in Aries is going to help you align your purpose with your soul. Let your career path be more guided by what truly matters to you. Success now comes from following your heart, Cancer rising. Leo rising, get ready to expand your horizons because your beliefs and your search for truth are entering a bold new chapter. Step into the spotlight and share your wisdom with the world. Virgo rising, this is a deep transformation and it's calling your name. It's time to let go of old fears around trust and control. You're being guided to feel more at home in your own skin. Libra rising, your closest relationships are reaching a beautiful turning point. So it's going to be a time to move from simply dreaming about connection to building something real and committed together. Scorpio rising. So many of you are Scorpio rising. Your daily life is being reimagined altogether. So look at your routines and well being as a sacred practice. Small mindful changes now will bring lasting peace. Sagittarius rising. A beautiful shift is happening in your creative world. So your joy and self expression are evolving. Let your imagination run free and create something that feels truly cosmic. Capricorn rising. Your home and inner world are being touched by magic with this energy. So expect a heartfelt reset in how you find security. Allow yourself to dream a new vision for your foundation. Aquarius rising, Saturn and Neptune at 0 degrees. Your voice has power with this energy. So you're being called to communicate with both clarity and compassion. Use your words to unite others and inspire action towards a common good. And last one, Pisces rising. Your values are being reset with Saturn and Neptune at 0 degrees with Aries. This is a chance to rethink what you truly need and what you're worth. So build a life that balances generosity with solid, long term self care. All right, guys, that's going to be Saturn and Neptune in Aries, 0 degrees. I'm going to move on to Mercury retrograde. Keep those birth charts out because I will break down each rising sign for the first Mercury retrograde of 2026. Jenna, welcome. Divine timing, welcome, ladies. All right. So from February 26th to March 20th, Mercury is going to appear to move backwards in the dreamy and intuitive sign of Pisces. Now, remember, Mercury retrograde happens a few times each year. It's really just a simple, gentle pause button from the universe. So think of it as a season for reflection, then action. Because this retrograde takes place entirely in Pisces, it's a deeply feeling and imaginative water sign. It's going to invite us to slow down, tune inward, and listen to our hearts. The key themes that you can expect with this first Mercury retrograde of 2026 is gentle communication. Words may feel a little tangled. If something comes out wrong or is misunderstood, offer grace. Not everything needs to be clarified right away. Also, emotional awareness. This is a beautiful time to check in with yourself. How are you really feeling? What has your heart been trying to tell you? Many of us will also experience nostalgia. Old memories, dreams, or even people from the past may resurface. This isn't about going backwards, guys. It's about healing what still needs attention. It just means that the story wasn't finished. Also, energy of slowing down. That's any retrograde, but especially Mercury retrograde, because the details may get fuzzy. So give yourself extra time. Rushing now will only lead to do overs later. All right, here's what to avoid when possible. A lot of people will say that this isn't a time for signing important papers. If you can wait until after March 20th, I would say just wait. Sharing sensitive feelings too quickly. Not everyone will fully understand where you're coming from right now. That is Mercury retrograde. And it's okay to sit with your thoughts just a little bit longer. Also, big life decisions based on emotion. Feelings are real, raw, but they can also shift like the tide with this energy. So give yourself space before making permanent changes in love or work. All right, here's how you can make the most of this Mercury retrograde. Review and reflect. Finish any old projects, revisit past ideas, tie up any loose ends. This is going to be a time for wrapping up, not really starting over. You want to be patient with others and yourself. Delays have a way of protecting us, so trust the slower pace. You want to dream, create, and imagine because Pisces energy is deeply creative. Use this window to write, paint, journal, or even simply sit with your dreams. Some of your best ideas may arrive when you stop pushing. All right, let's talk about which signs is going to feel this the most. I normally don't do this, but again, first Mercury retrograde, so many major transits happening, aspects happening with this Mercury retrograde that, again, we've not experienced in our lifetime. So while everyone will notice the retrograde, the mutable signs, Gemini, Virgo, Sagittarius, and of course Pisces, may experience the most visible shifts. So if you have planets in these signs, especially Sun, Moon, Rising, give yourself extra care and space during this retrograde. All right, let's break down all 12 rising signs. So, Aries rising, this retrograde is going to ask you to slow down and pay attention to your inner world. Old dreams, memories, or even unresolved feelings may surface. Let them. Rest is going to be productive right now. Taurus rising. Friends and community will take the spotlight. An old friend may or definitely will reappear, and you may find yourself rethinking who you truly want in your circle at this time. Trust your gut about where you belong. Somebody told me the other day, a friend of mine said um, something about like just because you fit in doesn't mean you belong there. I'm not saying it right, but it was something like that. All right. Gemini rising, your career and public life are up for review, so you might second guess a recent decision or feel pulled to revisit an old path. This is just clarity finding you, so be patient with the process. Cancer rising, like me, this is wanderlust calling, but not in the usual way. You may find yourself thinking about past travels, old beliefs, or even unfinished learning. So let your mind explore. Answers will come in their own time. Leo rising, shared resources and emotional intimacy come into focus. With Mercury retrograde in Pisces, old money matters or trust issues may resurface for healing, and this is going to be a chance to clear the air and start fresh. Virgo rising, relationships are going to take center stage and not always the easy ones. So, an ex or an old partner may reappear, or you may simply see someone from your past with new eyes. Listen more than you speak. All right, Libra rising. So, your daily routines and health habits are being gently reviewed. You may feel tired or foggy, and you want to honor that. Slow down and let your body tell you what it truly needs. All right, our famous Scorpio risings, creativity and joy are going to be rewired with this Mercury retrograde. An old hobby, a passion project, or even a past romance may drift back into your awareness. Follow what lights you up, even if it's just for fun. Sagittarius rising, yours is home and family matters. So you might think about where you came from or where what you've become, who you've become. Old memories could stir up at this time. You want to be gentle with yourself and your people. All right, Capricorn rising, your mind is busy, but not always clear. Old ideas, doubts, or ways of thinking may loop around. So write them down. Getting them out of your head will help you see what's true. Aquarius rising. Money and self worth are being revisited with this Mercury retrograde. An old debt, budget, or even where you value or what you value may resurface. This isn't going to be a setback, it's going to be a chance to build a stronger foundation. All right, last one, Pisces rising. This retrograde is personal for you. It is happening in your sign, so you may feel it more deeply than others. Old versions of yourself may surface. Greet them with kindness. You're not who you were, and that's a beautiful thing. All right, guys, that's what I have for Mercury retrograde. Lastly, I'm going to talk about the year of the horse. I know so many of you have messaged me, and everybody's asking me, Rosa, what does this mean? I'm going to break it down a little bit. I'm actually offering a special reading tonight as well. So make sure you let me know in the chat if anyone's interested. Thomas Man on Twitch, welcome. All right, here we go. So the year of the horse is it's in Chinese zodiac, and it's a time known for speed independence, and energy. I don't know about you guys, but I'm ready for all three. And in 2026, this energy is going to be extra intense and passionate because it will be a fire horse year. The horse is the seventh animal in the 12-year zodiac cycles. So, when you go eat Chinese and they have that little placement that has like the little animals in the, on the table placement, like all around the edges, and you look at your birth year and then it tells you about yourself, right? So that's where the year of the horse is coming from. And it represents moving forward quickly, like a horse that's galloping, where you can achieve success by being brave, strong, and taking action. All right, so here's everything that you need to know. What is it? What is the year of the horse? It's February 17th, 2026 through February 5th, 2027. And what it means is that it's a full, it's this year is full of yang energy, which is active, lively, and creative. It's going to be a good time to take chances, start new projects, make big life changes after Mercury retrograde. Says, I love Chinese zodiac. All right. It's also represented by the fire element in 2026. The horse is combined with the fire element. And this only happens every 60 years. So the last time is going to be 1966. Fire makes the horse's natural traits stronger. So bringing intense passion, big emotions, fast moving, dramatic energy. All right. Here's the general meaning and theme. So act first, plan later. That's year of the horse. It's going to reward people who move fast and figure things out as they go. Be independent. The horse doesn't like being held back or fenced in. This year is going to encourage you to break free from old routines and things that limited you. Move fast. Life will move quickly this year. We're literally talking about the last week of February 2026. I mean, we just got New Year's. I'm just saying. This is also going to be energy of getting noticed. The fire horse years are about being seen. It's a time for your hard work to be recognized. It's time for you to step up into the spotlight type of energy. Also, personality traits of horse people. So here's where you want to pay attention for the personal aspects. People born in the year of the horse, 1954, 1966, 1978, 1990. 2002, 2014, and of course 2026 are believed to have these traits. Strength, you're confident, energetic, friendly, funny, adventurous, and hardworking. Your weaknesses could be that you're impatient, impulsive, stubborn, and may get bored and give up on things easily. You love being around people and you're usually friendly, but your freedom is the most important thing to you. All right, so here's what you can expect in 2026. High energy changes. So expect the year to go quickly. It can be exciting, but also unpredictable. Big world events. That's an understatement, right? Just turn your TV on. This type of year is known for bold, big picture cultural changes. You want to focus on relationships with the year of the horse. It's going to be a good time to find your people. Horses are social, so this year encourages working with your community and partners. Pay attention to the risk of burnout because everything is so intense and so fast paced, you could get worn out if you don't take time to rest. That's a big lesson I've been getting this winter. I want to talk about that before I move forward. So many people are starting to catch on that we don't start our calendar at the right time, right? So many people are starting to catch on that January 1st is the middle of winter. We're exhausted, and we're supposed to be resting, okay? So this winter, spirit, I feel like me as an Aries, I'm a go, go, go type of person. It's hard for me to sit still. I get bored very easily. And that's all very natural to me. Sun in Aries, Mercury in Aries, Mars in Aries, Venus right on the cusp of Pisces and Aries, right? So a lot of energy in Aries. I don't like to sit still. I get bored so quickly. Um, I also burn out super quickly. And I feel like ever since I created PLR, I've had to really learn time management. That has been huge in my journey. This particular winter, the winter 2025, beginning of 2026, one of the biggest lessons from Spirit has been the importance of rest, the importance of balancing rest with action, the importance of not uh, talking down to myself because I need rest, right? Um, Also, just really understanding what is happening in the body, in the mind, in the soul when I'm resting. And resting doesn't always have to be sleep. But again, winter time, that's kind of what we do. And it's not just like us wanting more sleep or wanting more rest. Think about like everything in wintertime is dormant, right? It's hibernating. It's time of hibernation. That's what we're supposed to be doing. That's why we're so tired. That's why we want to sleep more. That's why we feel like we're not getting enough sleep, right? Now, I will say, and I know people are like, Rosa, well, how does this happen? It happens every year and it just happens naturally. But as we move towards spring, our energy will start to pick up. We would have rested all through winter, right? And as we move through spring, we have rebuilt, rejuvenated, and the energy starts to pick up and we get more energetic and we're ready to start kicking things off when spring comes and things start to bloom and pop and grow and see how that just makes more sense. So don't be so hard on yourself if here it is February, last week of February, and you're like, man, I'm tired and I don't know when this energy is going to pick up and it feels like it's still dragging. Of course, it's still dragging. You're at the end of what should be the natural year. You see what I mean? All right. Here's 5 tips for getting through the year of the horse. Have a plan. Because the energy is so fast, you need to have a clear goal before you start running, or you might just run in circles. Protect your energy. Make sure to rest, meditate, and find quiet time to balance out all the extra heat and activity. Pay attention to that heat. Don't be too impulsive. Acting fast is going to be good, but acting without thinking can lead to big mistakes, especially with things like money, right? You want to do things like wear red or gold. Traditionally, wearing red items like bracelets, socks, even your underwear is believed to bring good luck and protection during this zodiac year. All right. So earlier when I gave the years, remember earlier when I was talking about if you were born in the horse year? Example, remember 1990 was one of them. So if you were born in 1990 or one of the other horse years, 1942, 54, 66, 78, 1990, 2002, 14, 26, even 38, right? This particular year is going to be, some people are calling this like the Grand Duke year. And it means that there's going to be a major high stakes. It's life-changing year for you. It could be challenging, but definitely full of opportunities for people with those birth years. All right. All right, guys, that's what I have for our cosmic influences this week. It's a lot, I know, right? Yes, guys, please make sure to hit the thumbs up button for me. Thank you, Sherry. All right, I'm going to read for the collective. I'm going to look at masculine and feminine energy. I'm being told we're going to look at what everybody's thinking and feeling, which is a little abnormal, especially getting so close to the end of the month. We will have our monthly update coming up soon as well. I don't have that scheduled yet, so I'm wondering if Spirit is planting the seed as we speak. I do have Thursday night. We're going to do all 12 signs for the last week of February. So the 22nd through the 28th, and that'll be Thursday, 8 p.m. I imagine we're going to be doing the collective monthly probably next week. All right, let's go ahead and jump in. So I didn't know we were going to do like thoughts and feelings, so I didn't pull cards out for that. So I'm just going to wait till we get there, and then just let spirit tell me. Harry says, "Crazy sky." Wait till we get to March. February. What did I say February was? Remember? Do you guys remember? I said it was the beginning of the end. The beginning of the end. And it very much, right? Think about what all has happened. I mean, we're live streaming. It's February 17th. Think of what all has happened in just the month of February alone. Definitely the beginning of the end. And then we get to build new. All right, I pulled out the Black Moon Astrology cards. And that was my intention for the night. Very possible we'll swap some out tonight. All right, I'm going to start masculine energy first. No, I'm not. Bottom of the deck, fourth house roots. It's number 28. The number 28 is sticking out to me. Fourth house roots. This could be about grounding yourself, allowing yourself to feel centered. A lot of times when I see, to remember I'm having this very specific type of spiritual awakening journey, a lot of times when I see the roots card and really any oracle set, I get the energy of remember where you came from. And when I think about remembering where I came from, I remember like the beginning of my awakening. So there's definitely something about the beginning of your awakening. Maybe this is about who awakened you for the masculine. It's bottom of the deck. I keep saying masculine, so we're going to take it. Feminine energy, we have Mercury, the mind. It's number 3. What I'm going to say for the feminine energy, Mercury retrograde, just expect to see people from your past. Don't be shocked or surprised, because when we're shocked and surprised, then we we don't process and we don't handle. Okay, so I had a what would that be called? I don't know if it's reunion. I had an encounter in my journey. The last Mercury retrograde, which would have been the last one of 2026. I mean, sorry, 2025. And I don't want to say that I didn't expect it. I feel like I expected every Mercury retrograde, but I wasn't prepared for it, and I don't believe that I handled the situation like I would have liked to, right? So I say this to the feminine energy, divine feminine energy, just expect to see people from your past and understand that when these moments happen, this is not a sign from the universe to say, oh, allow this person back in, or go backwards or repeat old cycles. It's not anything about that. It's going to mean that something, like a chapter still needs to be written. There's something that's not finished. There's still more to it. And the longer you linger, closing out that chapter, the more times that energy is going to return every single time you're experiencing a Mercury retrograde. Does that make sense? So don't be scared of Mercury retrograde. Don't be scared of the person that is returning, or whatever it is. Let's say it's not a person. It could be a belief system. I mean, it's Mercury the mind. It could be something, a belief system, a thought in your mind that you have repeatedly that you need to release, right? That you need to come to a full understanding before you can release, right? It could be a place that is no longer serving you. It's no longer suiting you. It's no longer benefiting you in any way. But I think for most divine feminines, this Mercury retrograde is definitely going to be an energy of someone from your past returning. It's not something to be scared of. It's not something to attach yourself to and go, oh, well, it's back. So I guess this is how it's meant to be. No, it just means that there is a chapter in that book that still needs to be finished. It still needs to be written. There's some conclusion, there's some closure that still needs to be found in that situation. And guys, closure does not have to mean that you have to allow anybody into your space. Closure does not have to mean that you have to go talk to someone, you have to write them a letter, you have to communicate. It doesn't have to mean any of that. I mean, is that the closure that most people want? Well, yes, of course. But I don't want you to think that you can't have closure if you can't have like a last conversation with someone, right? And another thing I'm hearing is spirits telling you to stop saying last, because just because you close out a chapter with someone does not mean you will not start a new chapter with that person. Does that make sense? So, in other words, an old ex returns and maybe you left on rocky ground, right? Like maybe things were not peaceful, and this is an opportunity to make things peaceful. Now you're starting a new cycle. The old cycle was the choppy ground, the things that weren't peaceful, right? Now you're starting a new cycle with the energy of this person in a much more peaceful and balanced way. It's completely different than it was before. Does that make sense? A lot of times I think people are just, I don't know, like quick to think that it, because I say that you're um removing something or leaving something or ending something, that means that you're never going to see this person again, or that you have to cut them completely out of your life. God is good. God is love. God does not let me I get in trouble for blocking people. Okay. If I'm not blocking someone because they've like I feel like they can harm me, and I'm just blocking them because I'm pissed off and they didn't do what I wanted them to do, and I can't handle like their free will and choices, I get in trouble for that shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm not supposed to run. I'm not. So I feel like the reason these people keep returning every time we're experiencing Mercury retrograde is because we want to run from them. We want to be like, oh no, that was bad. It was hard. It made me cry. So I'm out, and I'm going to ignore that person, not pay attention, and not close that chapter out. And then I'm going to carry that pain with me into my future relationships. You see what I'm saying? And then I don't understand why my future relationships are not successful and why they keep repeating the same patterns of my old relationships. Does that make sense? Be willing to close the chapter out. Be willing to write the last chapter with that person. Be willing to understand that just because a chapter closes does not mean that you're done with that person, that you're gutting them and you'll never see them again. I mean, if you want to we got free will, do what you got to do. If your life is happier without that person and you have no doubt, set your boundaries, enforce your boundaries by all means. But I promise you, God's not going to tell you to run and hide. It just doesn't. It just doesn't. It's escapism. I know people are listening to me right now. They're like, Rosa, it's so crazy. Okay, let me break this down. If someone is harming you in some way and you feel like their presence in your energy, in your environment, in your physical space is an endangerment to your mental health or your physical self in any way, by all means, block them, block, delete, never existed, right? Absolutely 100%. But if you're blocking people or running from people or not communicating with people because they did something different than what you wanted them to do you see what I'm saying? Or because they didn't choose you, or because they chose their free will, or because whatever it is, you see what I mean? Then that's escapism. You are running, you're hiding from something that Mercury retrograde will just continue to bring back until you finally go, okay, I'm not scared of this shit. I'm going to face it. I'm going to see what's what, and I'm going to move forward. See what I mean? All right, let's look at the bridging energy. What do you mean? And what does that mean? What if he makes you? All right, we have 10th house, the world. First house, the body. It's Aries energy. Okay, so the world is career, reputation. Um, and here's what's happening. Here's why this card is here. Um, the numbers are sticking out to me. 28, 3, 34. All right. The 10th house, the world card is here because right now, everybody, like everybody on the planet, doesn't matter, is being asked by their soul to align their soul's purpose with what they're doing every single day. So when you go to work, when you go to your job, when you go to your career, when you go to the place that you invest most of your time and energy into, if that place is eating away at your soul, you spirit will continue. This is already happening. If that place is eating away at your soul, spirit will make you uncomfortable and more uncomfortable and more uncomfortable and more uncomfortable until you have no choice but remove that and align with something that you can go to every day, a job, a career, whatever it is, that you put all of that energy and all of that focus into every day that's aligned with your purpose. It has to be aligned with your purpose. This is February 17th, 2026. If you understand astrology and what is happening with spiritual awakening in the world, you will understand that we will not be able to move forward with something that's eating away at our soul. It's just not going to be allowed. So if you're working that factory job that you absolutely hate and you've hated the whole time you've been there, just prepare to find a new job. And I'm not saying quit your job. I'm not saying don't work. I'm not saying any of those things. I'm saying do the work, make the effort to find the place that spirit is guiding you to go, to find the place that allows you to follow your soul's purpose every single day. It can't be something that you do part time on the weekends. Does that make sense? Vanessa says, it makes sense. I don't know if I want to be peaceful with a certain individual. I think it's funny you said that because I feel like so many of us feel like there's going to be someone in our life. I mean, it's possible there's more than one. If there is, I'm so sorry. But there's going to be someone in our life right now uh, that we could feel like we are struggling to have compassion and understanding because we feel like they just keep repeating the same cycle or the same delay, right? And it's like we keep trying to show them, you know, I don't know, the light, right? And it's like, we say that saying all the time. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. It's like we're starting to get so frustrated, so exhausted. We feel like we're at the end of our rope, right? So it's like we're really struggling to find compassion and understanding and empathy. And I don't know about you, but before spiritual awakening, I mean, I had all of those things, But I definitely, Miss Tina, welcome. But I definitely feel like I suppressed them. I held them down. I lived and thrived off my anger. Like I'm still having to work with that today, right? Um, and I don't want to be that person. I don't want to be that person, that angry, mean, cut you to the bone hurt. I don't. And it's like I've had this awakening, and this awakening gave me like grace and compassion and empathy and understanding for my own, right? And it's like I want to be able to have that for others. But I promise you that there's going to be someone that we're all dealing with that we feel like we're just at the end of our rope, like we're just holding on by our fingertips. And the only thing I could say to that is just like me, every time it starts to like fester or I start to feel like I'm losing control, I just remind myself that I don't want to be that old version of me. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't want to be that angry, mad, screaming old version. I cry a lot more these days, but I like me a lot more these days. You know what I mean? And I want to have compassion and I want to have understanding and I want to have empathy and I want to be able to offer everyone unconditional love. But if I'm completely 100% honest with you, I am struggling with that right now. I'm struggling. And again, it could just be one person, but everyone's going to have one. And it may not, it may be more. If you are informed in what is happening in the world today, it's many, 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 right? It's like we're struggling to find compassion and understanding. I don't know what the answers to that is. I just know that I have to, again, keep reminding myself that I don't want to be that old version of me. I like this new spiritually awakened version of me. Now, does that mean that we need to maybe limit ourselves around that energy, Vanessa? I would say so, right? Like Spirit tells me I have this much time. You know what I mean? This is how much time. Um, it's really important right now that we're protecting our energies, not just from the things we're seeing on in the world, or not just the things we're hearing or watching, but people and places and things. All right, I'm going to use Llewellyn Tarot. Let's do a quick head, heart, and higher self. Tina just had surgery today, guys. She is the patient today. She's doing extremely well. Maybe a little more tender, I think, this time than last time. So hopefully she'll take it easier this time. Sherry says the struggle is real. All right, bottom of the deck, we have Five of Pentacles. Five of Pentacles says it's okay to ask for help. A lot of us are going through some deep shit right now. I didn't mean to say that, but we are. And we need to be able to understand that it's okay to be vulnerable. It's okay to open up. It's okay to share how we feel about things. And I think that when we do that, we start to learn that we're not the only ones, right? There's also this energy. So it's the church card. It shows you like the church window in the back, and it says it's okay to ask for help. Prayer is really important at this time. And what's that? There's this, I'm not trying to get like Bible-y here or nothing like that. But there's this verse that says, how's it go? When more than one, oh my gosh, brain fart. When more than one come together, you know what I'm talking about? So there's something about prayer. There's something about like minds. There's something about community prayer. that type of energy, bottom of the deck. All right, masculine energy, Seven of Cups. There's a lot of confusion in the thoughts. Queen of Wands, this could be coming from divine feminine. It's in the heart space. It represents strength, confidence, and kindness. I do believe this is going to be, well, it could be coming from divine feminine, sending divine masculine, more confidence. Three of Pentacles is here. Three of Pentacles is, I'm so glad. Look at that. I picked Llewellyn. Guys, every tarot set a little bit different. Llewellyn, you see the Three of Pentacles. In regular Rider-Waite, the Three of Pentacles shows the three people in the church. They're working together. It looks like there's some church pews around them. The idea is that they respect each other and they have the same goal, right? They want to get the same things accomplished. And Llewellyn Tarot, the Three of Pentacles, you see she's by herself. She's by herself. She's working tediously. She's not quitting. She's not giving up. And she understands that, yes, others should be here, maybe are on the way, I would say. That there is this moment for divine masculine where they're having to really sit with something on their own. And for Scorpio Pisces, coming out strongly for the divine masculine. Hi, divine feminine, head, heart, and higher self. We do have 10 of Swords on the bottom. This is what I was talking about with that Mercury retrograde energy. This is where you're going to have to face something that could seem a little scary that maybe you keep running from. Again, could be a person that keeps returning, a place that needs to, like the chapter needs to close out, a belief system that you need to release. It's no longer serving your greater good. It could be any of these things, but it says that this is coming to an end. All right, let's look at the thoughts for divine feminine. We do have Three of Swords. There is some healing and, divine feminine. This is going to be the Mercury retrograde energy. So the Three of Swords is coming out in your headspace because painful memories being brought to the surface. Things that you have suppressed, held down, swept under the rug. For a lot of you, and I'm just going to say it because, I feel like this is going to be for the majority. For a lot of you, this is a relationship. This is a person that keeps returning, especially every time you're experiencing Mercury retrograde. They keep returning because you refuse to write the final chapter. You refuse to close the cycle out. You refuse to move on anew, right? So instead, you hold this pain from this unhealed energy, right? And you, like I said, sweep it under the rug. You ignore it. You try not to pay attention to it. And what happens is every single Mercury retrograde, it's brought back to the surface. And you think about it again. And you're in fear again. And that's why you keep running from the person every time they return. That's how come you don't face it or have the final conversation or whatever it is that has to happen, because you're in fear of that pain. Three of Swords is no joke. The universe is here. This is going to be, there is going to be communication here in the heart space. I know that we want to think that communication happens through the third eye. It is through the heart chakra. It's an energy flow. When you're having this particular type of spiritual awakening, it's a constant energy flow. So with the universe coming out for divine feminine in the heart space, I feel like divine masculine is trying to maybe communicate with divine feminine. This could be like through telepathy, through dreams, this type of energy. For the Queen of Wands coming out in the divine masculine's heart space, I think that the divine feminine is trying to send confidence, kindness, unconditional love. The divine masculine could be feeling this energy of imposter syndrome. Who am I? I don't think this is my journey. I don't think this is something I can do. I don't think I'm good enough to be called on. It's something like this. And so that energy is flowing from divine feminine to divine masculine in order to empower divine masculine. All right. And then, I don't know, props from the universe from divine masculine to divine feminine. The Hierophant comes out, big spiritual card there. That is spirit, right? It's almost like reward, right? Thank you for helping divine masculine. I love that. Taurus energy coming out strongly for the divine feminine. All right, let's pull a guidance card. Guys, tonight I'm offering a 3-card cosmic influence. We have so much going on this week. I'm going to use the Black Moon astrology cards. And we'll look and see which cosmic influence will impact you the most. Keep those birth charts out because we're going to correlate your birth chart with your reading. Of course, talking to heaven, message from your person, several other options as well, and those should be on your video on your screen tonight. All right, guidance from Spirit for the collective. We have the Child card coming out. All right, it is number 21, and it's on page 65 of the Tree of Life Oracle. Has anybody got this set yet? All right, playfulness, spontaneity, creative openness, wonderment, childlike innocence, vitality, naivety, vulnerability, folly, and trepidation. Tree of Life Child asks you to come and play. Let your cares and worries leave you. Look up at the canopy of leaves and branches against the sky and marvel at the world around you. There is much to discover and enjoy. Tree of Life Child is full of wonder and approaches everything with an open heart and mind. Gillis, this child only wishes to explore and delight in the world around her. If you drew the Tree of Life Child, it's time to drop your apprehension and push away any kind of cynical outlook and see the world as one great playground to enjoy. Soak up the sunshine, the breeze, and open from the heart. Tree of Life Child is asking you to heal through innocence and creative playfulness. Emerge from your current emotional disposition by seeing all the possibilities around you. Leap for joy and skip. Draw with crayons and finger paint, catch butterflies, or play hide and seek. Be as a child and see if you discover something you have missed out on before. You may be surprised to see how this inner child teaches you how to thrive and be alive fully. Tree of Life Child reminds us that many, if not most, of our best ideas and creative efforts are born out of childlike innocence and wonderment. While enjoying life, use caution and do not be full of folly, as naivety can entrap you. And if others do not always appreciate your playfulness, welcome, Tree of Life Child, into your essence of being anyway. Don't forget to exercise good judgment and discretion in important matters of life as you see through the facades the way a child does. It's easy to be naive when we're open hearted, so take your time to truly watch situations and people. Acknowledge what you know. If others condescend or treat you as insignificant, perhaps because they have lost their innocent, playful nature, it does not have to stop from you truly loving your experiences in life. Tree of Life Child soaks up the information constantly and knows that when we are observant and playful, we open to our creative and divine sense of self. Your intuitive knowing arrives through a state of wonderment and joy. Just being alive is good. Life is good. Creative play is good. You are good. What a beautiful message. And if you guys knew how much trouble I just got in. Oh my goodness. But love it. That's going to be the collective, guys. I hope that that was helpful. All right, I meant to let you guys watch the big picture when I was giving you all the information. My bad. I'm going to clean up really quickly. And then I'm going to open it up to some mini readings. Okay, so I love the setup. Sweet, sweet. I didn't feel like doing camera today. I was up early, guys. Miss Tina had her surgery. Um, we had to be there at 6 a.m., I think, which I love. I love when they do that because we're in and out back home before 9 a.m. I mean, you can't beat it. But super early for me, right? Super early. And I mean, I get up early, but I don't actually have to like leave and go anywhere early. You know what I mean? So to actually have to like get up, get dressed, and go. I took a nap and everything, but I just didn't want to do the hair, the makeup, the lights. It's easier this way. Wrong. All right, let me grab pen and paper. Let me know who wants to check out the cosmic influences this week. I missed a doctor's appointment last week. I had to call and reschedule, which I finally did do. And I feel like I used today to get all the stuff that I messed up last week in order. And that's definitely going to be that Saturn and Aries energy right there. All right, divine timing, breaking the ice with the cosmic influence. I am going to use the Black Moon Astrology Oracle for those. Vanessa, Cosmic Influence, and Sherry, love it. Okay. I was getting ready to get ready. I was getting ready to get ready. I was getting ready for tonight's live, and I noticed that Restream, the service that I use for the multi-streaming, is offering a new option to vertical stream and landscape stream at the same time. And I have no idea like how that's even possible. I'm assuming that it chooses like which platforms to vertical and which platforms to landscape. So I don't know. I think I want to play with that next week and see how that works. I just like it when they add new buttons. All right, divine timing. Say hi to me in the chat. All right, you got your birth chart. Bottom of the deck, we have Gemini, I think. So the entire reading is going to be the mind. So Mercury retrograde, right? Really strongly. Remember, Mercury is the ruler of Gemini. Look on your chart. Where is Gemini for you? And not only where is your house of Gemini, but also look on your chart and where is Mercury. So Gemini on your chart is going to wrong. Look at your third house. Your third house on your chart is going to tell you, that sign is going to tell you how you normally process information and think about things. With this Mercury retrograde in Pisces, all of that becomes more spiritual. Does that make sense? Okay, so Mercury's in Capricorn. So the same thing. So you're going to do the same thing. So Mercury is your thoughts, your belief system, right? How you process information. It's in Capricorn. Capricorn is the sign of the goat, right? The one that doesn't quit, the one that perseveres, the hard worker. So with it being a Pisces, you know what I'm hearing? This is a lot more of, you're going to start to, this Mercury retrograde could have something to do with like past ideas, um, like uh, maybe you started a project and couldn't figure out how to finish it, something like that. So this one could be more like, we're going to think of how to do this smarter, not harder. Does that make sense? Like, that's kind of what I'm picking up. We have 10th house, the world. That did come out for the collective. In the collective energy, that came out as the bridging energy. The bridging energy talks about what our current spiritual lesson is. And right now, Spirit's asking us to look at the opportunities, the doors that are being opened, that are allowing us to align our purpose, our soul's purpose, with our reputation, our career, our everyday life, right? You also have Yod Destiny coming out. We have Pluto transformation. Not too shocking to see that Pluto energy. Pluto is touching everything. I think that people don't understand that. So remember, in November 2024, Pluto moved into Aquarius. We talked about it for like a whole year before it happened, right? The reason we talked about it was because when Pluto moved into Aquarius, in that first degree of Aquarius, again, 0 degrees, right? When that happened, that hadn't happened in our lifetime. We hadn't experienced what Pluto in 0 degrees Aquarius meant for us. We had never seen that type of destruction, honestly. And so that's why we're experiencing all this destructive energy right now, because Pluto is still in Aquarius, will be for the next 15 years. 15, 16 years, right? And that is what Pluto represents. It is destruction. In Aquarius, it's a mass destruction. It's a complete override. We're completely tearing the house down and rebuilding with a brand new foundation. That is what Pluto represents, and Pluto in Aquarius represents. Well, what people don't seem to understand is that when Pluto moves into Aquarius, every single planet has made a transit, an aspect, and touched Pluto in Aquarius. Does that make sense? So every single time these planets are going around and touching Pluto, those energies are also experiencing some type of massive upheaval. It's not upheaval. It's destruction. It's death and rebirth. They're experiencing mass endings and new beginnings. So in your career, in your 10th house, you could be experiencing mass changes. Something so different. And I think the difference is it's aligning your destiny. It's aligning your soul's purpose. It's like finally you get to go do something every single day that brings you resources and allows you to follow your soul's purpose. All right. I hope that was helpful. Third house Sagittarius could be challenging. It just means that you're really open-minded, but it also means that you struggle to uh, uh, not necessarily commit, but kind of. And I don't mean like commit to relationships. I mean like commit to beliefs, belief systems, ideas, thoughts, that type of thing. All right. Vanessa, you're gonna be next. Say hi to me in the chat. Thank you, Divine Diamond. There she is. All right. I need to find, this is kind of girly, sorry. But I need to find some new makeup remover because Miss Tina gave me this very fancy mascara, which I absolutely love. I'm not selling it to you or anything, but it really does separate the lashes, and it's that tubing mascara, so it makes your lashes longer. You know what I'm talking about? But it's really hard to get it off. So I normally use that, what's it called? That water, dang it. The one that starts with an M. You know what I'm talking about? I normally use that to take my makeup off, and it works great. I've never had an issue with it before. But the tubing mascara, it's a little bit harder, and it's like I need some better makeup remover. What's happening is I'm not getting it all the way off, and then it's like flaking little pieces in my eye. So it'll be crazy. I know. Y'all don't care. Where are the cards? I'm telling you. Here we go. All right, bottom of the deck, we have the Earth element. Saturn. Ooh. Okay, so Saturn moves into Aries. When was it? The 13th? I think it was the 13th. The 20th is the conjunction, so you're still like 3 days away. You're probably already feeling this energy. I just saw two swords. You could be feeling like you're stuck between two things. You could be trying to choose between two things. I'm going to tell you right now that the best route, or like the best thing that you could choose, is going to be what would be considered right. And I don't mean like what you would consider right. I mean what would God consider right, right? Because that's Saturn. Remember, Saturn is, one of these days we're going to break down these planets, but the astrologers will tell you that Saturn is the rule maker of the planets. It makes the rules. The other planets have to follow the rules, right? That's actually not true. In my experience, from all the self learning and education I've done, I didn't like go to school for astrology or anything like this, right? It's all self taught. So everything that I've learned very much that Uranus is the rule maker. Uranus actually sets the rule, creates it, says this is the way we're going to do it. And then Saturn is the planet that um, makes sure that all those planets follow those rules. Does that make sense? So Saturn is like the police of the planets. Are you doing things the way you're supposed to be doing them? So if you're trying to choose between two things or two people or two situations, whatever it is, it's going to be what would spirit say is the right thing to do. Again, not what do you want. Now they can be the same thing. Of course, you want them to be the same thing, of course, right? But not always, right? Sometimes we want things that are not necessarily good for us or not necessarily what spirit has in mind for us, right? I wonder what it is. Venus love comes out. Guys, Venus is also making a transit this week, so you want to pay attention to that energy as well. Leo, I will comes out. This is your willpower. You want something. Again, just because you want it doesn't necessarily mean that it's good for you or that spirit thinks this is what the next step should be, right? Libra, I balance. I think all of this has something to do with a relationship, a partner, a person. All right, I'm going to leave it right there. I hope that was helpful. Next, Sherry. Sherry, say hi to me in the chat. Like, can't go nowhere. What did you mean by that? What if he makes you like can't go nowhere? Oh, grounded. Oh, yeah, I got you. I have a friend that's currently grounded. Has spirit ever grounded you before? Um, what I mean by that is you think that you're going to go to work, but your car breaks down. Or you think you're going to go on a vacation, but you catch a cold and now you're sick and staying home. Or you think you're going to go out and party with your friends, but everyone cancels. Um, you know, those types of groundings. I have a friend who's experiencing their first grounding. That's probably not their first grounding. They're just realizing that's what it is for the first time. And you know how when you don't realize it, like you try to keep going. You know what I'm saying? Like you keep trying to do whatever it is you were trying to do, and then something else keeps happening, and you're like, why? Why can't I go? Because you're grounded. I just want to say I get grounded all the time. All the time. If I go out into the world and I'm rude to someone, grounded. And if y'all knew me, I'm just saying, I get grounded a lot. All right, Sherry, here we go. Bottom of the deck, we have the Leo I will again coming out. This is you choosing your free will, though. A little bit different. Whereas Vanessa's Leo I will energy was like, um, her energy is a little bit more like, I'm going to do it because I want it. Yours is, I'm going to find the courage because I can, right? A little bit different. All right. We have Libra, I balance coming back out. We have third house messages coming back out. This is relationship, someone from your past. Third house, this is Mercury retrograde. And we have first house, the body coming out. You have both because we have Aries and Neptune in the first house. So you have both. In other words, a partner, someone from your past returning, follow the rules, right? Follow the rules. Don't get confused. Remember, Neptune is right next to Saturn. It's really easy to get confused with this energy, and this is not the time. If this person cannot balance your energy, if this person cannot meet your energy, if this person is trying to drag you down or pull you down, this energy will not be allowed. It's that simple. If this energy brings balance and peace and comfort and unconditional love, then hey, run with it, right? But I see it as you coming out the other side, um, focused on you. All right, I'm going to leave that there. I hope that was helpful. Guys, Mercury retrograde is no joke. We make light of it and we make jokes about Mercury being in the microwave all the time. But it's not a funny situation. It can sometimes be a very painful situation. For me, a lot of times, we deal with a lot of things like delays, um, feeling late, getting behind on things when you're running a business. That can be really stressful, not really good for the mental, right? You want to try to do things to prepare for this Mercury retrograde. We understand what this energy represents and what it means. We have the information, so we can be proactive and take those steps so that when this energy does come into our space, when we do have to face whatever it is, we can finally close that chapter out, right? I don't know about you guys, but I am sick of repeating the same cycles. I'm so ready to move forward. I'm so excited for the astrology of 2026. It shows us there is so much more good things to come. Are we going to be experiencing Pluto all year? Yes, absolutely. But does that mean that it's doomsday and the world is coming to an end? No, absolutely not. The earth does go on, and we have to choose what reality we want to go into with, right? All right, I'm gonna wrap it up. Stop the jibber jabber. Come back. Join me Thursday night. We'll break down all 12 signs for the week of February 22nd through the 28th. Guys, if you're new, make sure you're hitting that subscribe and follow and join on all the platforms, right? So it lets you know when we do go live. Every once in a while, I like to pop up with a music and tarot where we play a little music and we offer reading. So you just really never know when that's going to happen. And as we're moving towards the end of the month, I have a feeling that we're going to have some extra readings come in. So make sure you're hitting those notify buttons to all so it lets you know each time that we go live. And if you're looking for a personal reading, guys, you can find that over on my website. Links are always in the description box of all of my videos. And of course, you can always email me at purplelunarose@gmail.com. I love you guys. I'm always sending all of you abundant love and light on your journey. Have a good night, everyone.